All right, so you can see how this point turned out. It's very sharp, it's nice and thin, and it'll absolutely devastate an animal. Around it are other side notch points that I've made out of obsidian and dacite, and these really aren't that big. You can see how they compare up to the size of a penny, but make no mistake, this will absolutely kill large game such as mule deer and pronghorn in this area. So what I'll do right now is mount this projectile point up to an arrow shaft, and I'll show you how well it cuts. All right, so here's our target. You can see I took 2 commercially tanned buckskins and I stapled them to the side of this target to see how wide of a hole we can get to slice through these. And then my arrow is now complete. So we have a river cane main shaft with an arrowweed foreshaft, and then I have an arrowweed knock insert. We have turkey tail fletchings. This is all sinew wrapped and bound down with hide glue. And then as you can see here, this point is now mounted onto this foreshaft. It's nice and tight, it's nice and secure, and it looks really good. So I'll be shooting this through an Osage asymmetrical bow. So I'm down here at the archery range. I got my target set up right behind me, but a couple other things worth mentioning is this bow is absolutely hunting worthy. It'll take big game in North America. It is 51 pounds at 22 inches a draw, and it's also rawhide backed. As far as the arrow, I went ahead and glued in the foreshaft just so everything stays together in one piece and this main shaft doesn't release once it hits the target. So without further ado, we'll take some shots. Okay, so here's the first shot. You can see we're a little bit low, but it went through all of the hides. So we'll just pull it out. And yeah, this thing cut quite the hole. You can see here. That's a nice slice. It's not too large. So if we were to tan this hide, if this were live game, we can easily sew this up. But it's definitely devastating. This point is still intact. It's still very sharp, and we'll try to get up a little bit higher. Shot number 2, still a little low, but went through the hides. And once again, cut a pretty wicked hole. And shot number 3, once again, through all of the hides. Yeah, this thing really buried deep. Whew. Really nice cut. All right, so just for the fun of it, I'm switching bows and arrows here. You can see this arrow is quite different. It doesn't have a removable foreshaft. It's just straight arrowweed, and then it has turkey fletchings on the end. And this point is absolutely wicked. It's much more elongated and it has heavier serrations. So we'll see how well this performs. As far as the bow, it doesn't have quite the power like the asymmetrical bow. It has a shorter draw length and it's lighter in pounds. This is sinew backed yew. It's a hoopah inspired bow. So we'll see how well this performs. And we have quite the hole. Honestly, it's about the same. Maybe a little bit pinched in here, but it is pretty close to the other point. As far as damage, the tip is still in good shape. One of the ears here did break off, but it's still very much usable. Oh yeah. And those barbs, or that barb is pulling out the leather. Man, that is a pretty wicked cut. Yeah, look at that. All right, folks, so that is just about going to wrap up and conclude this video series on making and testing out an obsidian side notch point. Overall, I'm very pleased with the results, and this thing cut one hell of a hole through these hides. And the way that we set these hides up and stapled them to the target is very similar to live game. Now, keep in mind, we didn't necessarily run a penetration test in this experiment. We just wanted to see how well this cuts through the hides. But without a shadow of a doubt, with this arrow and every single bow that we tested throughout this video, it will absolutely kill large game in North America with the right shot. So with that, folks, I do appreciate you joining me throughout this video series. I'm Jeff with PrimitiveLifeways.com. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.